Marcus and his brother are on a family vacation, but it looks like not everything is going as smoothly as expected. The setting is a beautiful beachside villa where everyone is supposed to be relaxing, enjoying the stunning views, and making the most of their time off. However, there's one problem. Marcus is not exactly thrilled about the room he's been assigned. He walks into his room and immediately starts expressing his frustration. He feels like as the brother, he should have been given the best room, the one that has the entire view of the ocean. After all, Marcus figures that since his brother is the one paying for everything, he should have the prime spot. But what he finds instead is a room that doesn't quite live up to his expectations. The room has an outdoor shower, and the view isn't as good as the others in the house. Marcus starts feeling a little resentment building up. After all, he's here to enjoy a beautiful vacation, but it seems like his brother has left him with the worst room in the house. It brings to mind a past trip, one that took place in St. Thomas, where things didn't go entirely as planned either. And now, once again, Marcus is faced with what he feels is a somewhat unfair situation. He thinks back to that previous trip and wonders if there's some kind of pattern here. Why does this always happen to me? He seems to ask himself. But what really gets to him this time is that he feels like his brother, who has invited him on this vacation, is playing some sort of prank or joke at his expense. Marcus thinks, how could my brother put me in a room with such a bad view after all the effort he put into making this trip happen? As Marcus continues to voice his displeasure, he takes the viewers along with him as he tours the villa, showing off the rooms that others in the family are enjoying. He first shows the upstairs room, which is the master suite, complete, with an ocean view that is absolutely breathtaking. He emphasizes how incredible the view is, with no shortage of praise for how amazing the room is. And rightfully so, it's the kind of space that anyone would love to have for themselves. As he stands there looking at the view, Marcus can't help but feel a sense of injustice creeping in. He's happy for his family, but it's hard to ignore the fact that he feels a little bit left out. He moves on, showing another room, which is equally beautiful but still doesn't measure up to the one with the ocean view. At this point, Marcus is still processing his feelings. He even goes so far as to mention that he doesn't think he could stay in this room forever. It's just not the space that he had envisioned for himself. As he moves on to show the next room, he continues with his commentary. "This is your room," he tells the camera, directing attention to a space that clearly lacks the same level of appeal. His voice rises a little with frustration, and it becomes clear that Marcus feels slighted. "The view isn't even that good," he says, a little too candidly. "How can this be my room when I'm your brother?" In the back of his mind, Marcus knows that he's probably overreacting, but it doesn't change the fact that he's not happy with the situation. The external shower, which isn't something that everyone might want, only adds fuel to the fire. The idea of taking a shower outside doesn't sit well with him. It's an unusual feature, and it's one that further emphasizes that Marcus feels like he's been given the least desirable room in the villa. The conversation becomes more heated when Marcus expresses his frustration to his brother. He questions why he, as the one who paid for the entire vacation, would be given the least desirable room. It's as if he's asking, "How could you do this to me?" His brother tries to reassure him, claiming that the room isn't all that bad. In fact, his brother insists that it still has a partial ocean view, and while it's not the best room in the house, it's still a good one. But to Marcus, that doesn't seem like much of a consolation. He's upset that the room doesn't meet his expectations, and no amount of reassurance seems to calm his feelings of injustice. Marcus continues to emphasize that he didn't come on this trip to feel like he was being treated unfairly. He expected something a little more, considering the fact that this is a family vacation meant to be enjoyed by all. As he speaks to the camera, his frustration becomes more evident. "You invited me here, you paid for everything, and now I'm stuck in this room with no view," he says, looking genuinely upset. His brother, on the other hand, seems to brush it off, telling him not to worry too much. "You're not going to spend all your time in your room anyway. We're here to enjoy the beach, the pool, the whole villa." But Marcus can't seem to shake the feeling that he's been wronged. He makes a joke about just sleeping in the living area since he doesn't want to stay in the room that has left him feeling so dissatisfied. "I don't even need a room," he says, a little exasperated as he walks away from the space. Despite his brother's insistence that he's being dramatic, Marcus can't help but feel the weight of the situation. It's hard to enjoy a trip when you feel like you've been given the short end of the stick. As the night progresses, Marcus's frustration lingers, though it seems to be more playful than serious at this point. He's still not thrilled with the arrangement, but as the camera follows him around, he begins to laugh it off a little. At one point, he lies down on the couch, making the best of the situation and pretending that he's fine with it. His brother continues to tease him, but it's clear that this is just a sibling argument, one that will likely fade by morning. At this point, the video turns to a lighter tone, with both brothers sharing a few laughs. Despite the room mix-up, the two continue to enjoy the vacation. Marcus has his moments of frustration, but they don't last long. As the video ends, he even begins to appreciate the uniqueness of the outdoor shower, laughing about how it's actually kind of cool after all. In the comments section, viewers are encouraged to share their own thoughts. Some might find Marcus's reaction a little over the top, while others might relate to the frustration of not being treated equally. It's clear that family dynamics are complicated, and sometimes small issues can spark bigger emotions. But no matter how things started, Marcus seems to come around, and by the end of the video, the brothers are still enjoying their vacation. Even if the room situation wasn't ideal, the takeaway here is that sometimes even the smallest inconveniences can turn into moments of humor and connection, especially when family is involved. This video reminds us that while things don't always go as planned, it's all about making the best of it. So whether you're dealing with room assignments that don't live up to expectations or just enjoying time with family, remember that it's the memories you create along the way that truly matter as the vacation continues. Marcus slowly begins to settle into the idea that the room situation isn't the end of the world. While his initial frustration was understandable, especially considering the high expectations he had for this trip, he starts to realize that sometimes it's not about the perfect room or the ideal situation. It's about making the most of the time you have with the people you care about. Sure, he might not have the best room in the villa, but he's still surrounded by family and the beauty of the island. By the following day, Marcus's mood has lightened significantly. The weather is perfect, the sun is shining, and the beach is right at their doorstep. He and his brother share a laugh over the room mix-up, both realizing how petty it seemed. In the grand scheme of things, Marcus, now fully embracing the experience, spends his time outside, enjoying the ocean breeze and soaking up the vacation vibes. Whether it's taking a dip in the infinity pool, lounging by the beach, or simply enjoying the breathtaking views, Marcus comes to terms with the fact that the villa is still an amazing place to stay, even if his room doesn't have the most spectacular view. As the days pass, Marcus and his brother continue to share moments of lighthearted teasing, but there's no animosity left between them. The trip, which initially started with a bit of tension, turns into a memorable family getaway. They're able to look back at the room situation and laugh, realizing that sometimes family vacations come with unexpected bumps in the road, but it's those moments that make the trip even more special. Marcus, who initially felt slighted, begins to feel grateful for the opportunity to spend quality time with his family in such a beautiful setting. The small hiccups, like the room situation, no longer matter as much as they once did. One of the most touching moments of the trip happens later on when Marcus, still laughing about the room situation, shares a heartfelt moment with his brother. He expresses his gratitude for the vacation and the effort his brother put into organizing everything. Although he didn't get the room he wanted, he appreciates the gesture of being invited and spending time together. It's moments like these, when the tension fades and appreciation takes its place, that make the entire experience worthwhile. They end up spending the remainder of the trip enjoying each other's company, playing games, exploring the island, and even bonding over the small things, like cooking meals together, making memories with the kids, and reflecting on the value of family. The outdoor shower that once felt like a punishment becomes a quirky feature of the villa that they all end up laughing about, joking that it's the island way of doing things. Marcus even admits, in a light-hearted tone, that maybe it wasn't such a bad idea after all. Trip draws to a close, Marcus reflects on how much the experience has taught him. He acknowledges that sometimes things don't go according to plan, but that doesn't mean the whole experience is ruined. It's easy to get caught up in small frustrations, like the room situation, but in the end, it's the moments of connection and the memories you create that truly matter. Marcus finds himself feeling more connected to his brother and the rest of the family than ever before. He realizes that no room, no matter how great or small, can replace the importance of the time spent with the people you love. In the final moments of the trip, Marcus and his brother share a meaningful conversation. Marcus expresses how grateful he is for the time they spent together and how much he values their relationship. His brother, in turn, reassures him that the trip was meant to be a special time for everyone, and that no matter where they sleep or what room they have, the most important thing is that they are all together. They share a genuine moment of understanding, knowing that despite the minor issues that arose, the trip was a success because of the bond they share. As they pack up and prepare to leave the villa, Marcus has a newfound sense of gratitude. The vacation, which began with some tension, ends on a positive note. He's no longer upset about the room situation. Instead, he's grateful for the memories made and the lessons learned. Sometimes life's little inconveniences are just that, little, and they don't need to define the whole experience. It's how you handle those moments and how you make the best of them that truly matters. As they head back home, Marcus can't help but reflect on the journey. What started as a frustrating experience turned into one of the most memorable family trips he's had. He learned that sometimes it's not about having everything perfect, but about enjoying the time you have and appreciating the people around you. The lesson he takes from this trip is one that will stay with him for a long time, that family and shared moments of happiness are the real treasures, and no room, no matter the view, can take that away. So as Marcus and his brother walk away from the villa, they share a laugh and a sense of camaraderie. It's a reminder that no matter the bumps in the road, they have each other's backs, and that's all that matters. The trip was a success, not because of the perfect room, but because they made the most of it together. And that's the real takeaway from this family vacation. Sometimes the best memories come from the most unexpected moments. As the video wraps up, viewers are encouraged to share their thoughts on the room situation and family vacations in the comments. Marcus and his brother may have had their differences, but in the end, they came together. And that's what makes the experience truly special. The message is clear. No matter what challenges you face, it's the connections you make along the way that truly count. And in the end, that's what family is all about. The video ends with a shot of Marcus and his brother laughing together, reflecting on the trip, and sharing a final moment of appreciation. The vacation might be over, but the memories will last a lifetime.